Welcome to Founders Club, the show for real estate entrepreneurs.
And then what was the first thing you deployed the money into?
So this is funny, man. You know, I have meetings with him. He's teaching me about money. I think I'm gonna be like Warren Buffett, right? What he told me, the first thing I was gonna invest in, I was actually surprised with, because he told me I was gonna invest in myself. I didn't understand that back then, right? And so
I like that.
He goes, okay, we're gonna invest in yourself. And I was like, okay, what does that mean, right? And then he basically continued to say, look, the biggest return you will ever make is when you invest in yourself, 1. 2, your biggest wealth building tool is your income. So how can we invest in yourself that will basically cause you to make more money that then we could use to create more passive income, per se. So in the beginning, it was like, okay, Mikey, so how do you make more money? And as a 21, 22-year-old kid, it was like, I need to get my sponsors to pay me more. It was like that simple.
Right.
Okay, well, how do sponsors pay you more? Well, if I become better, then more kids I'll have a higher demand. So kids will buy more of my product, I'll make more money, right? And so he's like, okay, well, how do you get better at skating? And I was like, well, I need to skate more. But at that time, the challenge was the only place that we could go basically practice was at public skate parks. And when we would go to public skate parks, every kid there would know who we were.
And get mobbed on.
We would get mobbed on, and you wouldn't want to try something that you didn't know how to do because you didn't want all the people who knew who you were to think you sucked.
That's interesting. You're right.
Right? So what would happen is every time...
you didn't land anything today.
Exactly. So every time we would go to practice, we wouldn't be practicing. It would be like we were putting on a demo, and we were only doing the tricks we knew how to do. So I remember that was like, hey, I need to figure out a place that I could go practice. So then what a couple people were doing was buying or renting warehouses and putting their own private training facility inside that warehouse that no one had access to.
Yep.
And so it was like, okay, how do we get you in a private skate park? So we started using money to then, at this point, it became a warehouse in North Hollywood, and we had a skate park in it, and we would go practice, and then I started getting better, and then sponsors started paying me more, I started making more money. That was like one of the first kind of ways we started investing in myself.
So you guys bought these buildings?
No.
Okay.
I didn't have the. Back then it was $100,000 a year, right in California. Right. It goes very quick. And second, at that time my strategy was I needed to make more money. It wasn't build passive income in the beginning.
Right.
So the first amount of money went towards building my personal brand. And then
more equals more money.
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo.
Okay.
And then I started making more money, and then that money started being deployed.
That's great.
When it started getting deployed, it was like, if it wasn't a brand that I was going to start, it was storage units at that time.
That's great.
So, dude, another thing too that we should touch on, we used the stock market actually, back then, not to have crazy growth, but the challenge that people don't realize is because you have an amount of money to deploy doesn't mean there's opportunity to deploy in.
Right.
And if you're just sitting on money, you're losing money.
Right.
So we would basically use the stock market as a holding place until opportunity presented itself.
So stack it up in the stock market.
Yes, the challenge is if you're just trying to keep up with inflation, then you don't need to look for these big growth funds or these huge rewards. You need to returns. You need to essentially keep up with 2%. So we were holding money in very conservative,
safe, simple stuff.
Yep. And then when something like a storage unit pop up, it was boom.
And they were vetting the deals for you, so you felt comfortable.
So at that time, they ran their own fund. So basically, they would go find a deal. They would build out their pro forma. They would present it to investors. Similar to what a syndicator does.
Right.
But they would just have multiple projects inside of one fund. And then what was cool, where the hands-on approach came, it was like, okay, so Randy, can you explain this to me? What is, dude, it's so funny to think about.
No, that's the best
you can
education ever.
Totally.
You're talking about your money. So you're obviously paying attention, and these guys know what they're doing.
Another good thing too that people forget is when, let's say you're investing passively, so somebody else is doing the work, right? A lot of times the operator has the tendency to only say the good things that are happening. And it's a false front to the investor to try to learn because nothing is perfect ever, right? What Randy's approach would be dude, he would tell us the good and the bad. This is what we did well. This is what we struggled with. So it was I remember each project, it was holy crap. I felt like we were doing the deal.
Right.
It was huge.
To listen to this full Founders Club interview, go to foundersclub.tv.